Hello. NBT5 is about multiplication. It's different ways to multiply. We're going to start with one that's kind of almost like a review because we've already talked about multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands earlier in NBT 1 and 2, but this is taking it a step farther where instead of just the number 10, 100, or 1,000, we're actually using numbers that are tens, hundreds, or thousands. So for example, 4 times 7 tens, which is 4 times 70, all we have to do is the first two numbers are multiplied, 4 times 7, we get 28, and then we add however many zeros there are to add. So over here, 6 times 6 is 36, and then I'm going to add on those two zeros, add them up here. These are some that we have practiced in our math notebook. And then down here is the tricky one I like to show you because 5 times 8 is 40, and some kids will get this one wrong because they'll count this zero as one of those. So be real careful not to do that. Write the number down and then go back and add the two zeros. This is the same thing if you wanted to do a problem that was like this. It doesn't matter, we're still going to do the same basic idea. So 5 times 4 would be 20, and then I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So this is a real fun, easy way to multiply big numbers. Now we're going to slide over in our math notebook to the traditional way to multiply. And this is the way that your mom and dad learned when they were in school. And this is the way that everyone kind of thinks of when we think of multiplying. There are some other ways we're going to learn though as well. Multiplying, traditional multiplication, this is in your notebook, but the way I like to kind of break it down and think of it is here we're only multiplying a 1 digit by a 2 digit, but eventually the numbers on the bottom will get bigger as well as the numbers on the top. Doesn't matter, you always need to remember to start with the ones place. So you always start in the ones place on the bottom times the ones place on the top. You will always start that way. Then you're just going to slide over. So then the next thing you would do is the 1 place on the bottom times the 10 place on the top. Okay, so we're going to practice this down here. So I'm always going to go straight up and then I'm going to go over every single time. So 4 times 2 is 8. I went up. Now I'm going to go 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, so straight up to the ones place. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 3, 21. 22, 23. Don't forget to add. If you carry something over to the top, you have to add it to your answer. Do not add these two numbers together. You add this to the answer of the multiplication. 7 times 3 is 21 plus the 2. Then it is 23 down here. Okay, next one, I'm going to go straight up. 9 times 2 is 18, so I have to carry my 1. 9 times 7 is 63, plus the 1 is 64. Okay, one last one. 5 times 3 is, 3 times 5 rather, is 15. And 3 times 8 is 24, plus the 1 is 25. Okay, that's traditional multiplication with double digit on top, 2 digit times 1 digit. Next in our math notebook, we went from 1 digit on the bottom times 2 digit, and now we're moved on to 1 digit on the bottom times 3 digits on the top. It's the same steps as we did before. You're going to start in the ones place times the ones place. Then you're going to slide over to the tens place, and then you're going to slide over again to the hundreds place. So it's really the same thing. They've just added one more number up top. So try not to get stressed out. Let's give it a shot. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 1 is 16. And 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 1 is 31. That's it. Why don't you go ahead and give these a shot on your paper while you're watching the video. You can press stop and do them yourself. And then go ahead when you're done and press play and see if your answers match my answers. Okay, so we're going to go to the ones place. 8 times 3, 24. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 2 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24, plus the 1, 25. Next one, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 7 is 42, plus the 1 is 43. 6 times 4 is 24, plus the 4 is 28. Last one. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 0 is 0, plus the 3 is 3. And 7 plus 8 is 40. There you go. All we're going to do now is add another digit to the top. So now we're at 1 digit times 4 digits. Okay, so it's still the same thing we've been doing. So 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 3 is 21, plus the 2 is 23. 7 times 1 is 7, plus those 2 is 9. And 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, so it's the same thing. You're still going to the ones place and just kind of working your way down. Don't forget to carry, put your numbers up top, and count them in after you've done the multiplying. 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 8, 24, plus the 1, 25.